let's maybe just outline the basic structure of this project. What exactly is the status of blasphemy and apostasy laws right now in the world? You've mentioned that even some Western countries recently had them, or maybe some even have some remains in place. And also there are some countries outside of Muslim world which still have active blasphemy laws. I think Russia is probably the most known example, but the apostasy laws are very much a Muslim phenomenon. So
exactly. So again, some Western countries still have blasphemy laws, and others, like Norway, have had them until quite recently. And this is there's even a tradition of human rights decisions that say you can prosecute blasphemy. So this is a problem for the credibility of Westerners, obviously, when they criticize Muslim countries for having blasphemy laws. At the same time, blasphemy laws are absolutely in retreat in the West, and UN human rights authorities have, over the last decade, landed on the conclusion that blasphemy laws against blasphemy are not compatible with the principle of freedom of expression. So I think the historical tide is going against blasphemy laws. But there are still countries hanging on to them. And as you said, laws against apostasy, that is, laws against leaving a religion, in this case the religion of Islam, are a fairly unique phenomenon for Muslim countries. And also blasphemy laws, which are not unique to Muslim countries, they tend to be practiced more harshly, to have harsher punishments. Although there are big differences between Muslim countries in this respect. So at the worst end, you have countries with the death penalty for blaspheming the Prophet. You have this in Pakistan, in Iran. So this is a particularly pressing problem in the Muslim, in Muslim majority societies. And this is also why, now we've been talking for a long time about Norway and perhaps what the kind of things that motivated me and my fellow Norwegians in this project to take part in it. But we have not in this project dealt at all really with these international incidents, with the incidents that have troubled Danish and Norwegian society, or with the Rushdie affair, or with the attack on the French cartoon newspaper Charlie Hebdo in 2015. These are not the things we are dealing with here. We are dealing with the problems internal to Muslim majority societies.
But of course, you also say that they have a direct, that there is, this is a speculation, which is I think very important for this project, that they have that the reform inside of these countries and inside of these judicial systems could have a large impact on of course also these international affairs.
Absolutely, and the converse is also true. The international debate, of course, has an effect on the debate in Muslim countries. And we don't really go into this much, but we note this polarization. On the one hand, in the West, and Norway would be an example, we now have blasphemy. We have sort of exalted blasphemy as a marker of what we are as a society, and as a loyalty marker that Muslim citizens have to be okay with. We have made the freedom of expression not just a legal right that is very important for us as citizens against the state, but we've also imagined it as a kind of core national value, something intrinsic to what it means to be one of us. And I think we have a polarization here where the opposite, where this is noticed in the Muslim world, and the opposite is happening in Muslim countries, that, of course, if the imperialists are championing freedom of expression against the Prophet Muhammad, we will stand with the Prophet Muhammad.
This identity, this kind of opposition.
So there's an identity politics going on here on both sides, I think. And to be clear, I mean, my position in this is a stance for international human rights, including the freedom of religion and the freedom of expression. And that is the spirit in which we enter into this project. But at the same time, you cannot ignore the context of this use of human rights as an identity marker, which I think is
which has negative
detrimental,
yes,
to the debate.